Hello, my sewing friends. I have many things to show you and talk to you about today, and they all have to do with the March Madness Maxi challenge that's happening over on Instagram with the hashtag marchmadnessmaxi. Say that 10 times real fast. Anyway, I'm hosting that with Carmen Salome and Sharon from Sharon Sews. And I wanted to recap the challenge, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about what constitutes a maxi. So just to quickly recap, the challenge goes from March the 1st to the 31st. The challenge is to make a maxi skirt or a dress from a vintage pattern, and that vintage pattern is considered 1999 or prior. We're doing vintage in the spirit of the Roaring 20s. And so we're considering everything after the turn of the century into the 21st century, not vintage, so the 20th century. Anything you can find is fair game. Also, whatever you can find that's a reprint of something from the 20th century is fair game. So if you find a current pattern that is a reprint of an old pattern that you want to use, that'll work. Please tag Sharon or Carmen or me on Instagram, as well as using the hashtag. You can follow the hashtag on Instagram, and so that way you'll get to see everybody's pictures. Just take a picture of yourself modeling the thing that you make, or your dress form or a mannequin, or if you made it for someone else, take a picture of them wearing it, or hang it on a hanger and take a picture of that. It really doesn't matter. If you could do the finished product, though, with the hashtag instead of works in progress, that would be better. And if you have a YouTube channel, we would love to see your works in progress. If you do that, just put the hashtag marchmadnessmaxi in the title of your video. We're going to choose 3 winners of the challenge, one for each of us. And those will be picked randomly, and we're going to give away a small packet of patterns to each of the winners. And those will be taken from a whole stash of things that Carmen and I found on Facebook Marketplace. And yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what a maxi is. I did a little bit of research online, and I was a little bit surprised to find some of the things that I did. Obviously, we're talking about a hemline length. So here are some things that I found. One post I read described a midi and T length as the same length, while another one said that a midi is knee length or below and T length was the same as maxi. Now, I've always thought of T length as being mid-calf, and by that I mean halfway between your knee and your ankle. And I say that because my mom wore a T-length wedding dress when she got married. There is an article from Glamour magazine where they define T-length, and they say a T-length dress, so named because it's what a woman would wear to the tea table in the 1920s, which is kind of cool since this is the 2020s. According to Emily Post, that's what she would wear, it falls about 3 to 4 inches below the knee. Okay, so I would describe T-length and midi length as the same thing. So for our purposes with this challenge, we're calling T-length the same as midi length. Well, midi is obviously not the same as maxi length. Maxi length is between your ankle and the floor. So anything that is at least as long as your ankle and no longer than the floor is considered a maxi. Anything above your ankle is considered a midi, a T-length, a knee length, or a mini. Interesting article in that I found actually out of it's an excerpt from a book that was published in the 1950s called American Fashion. This is by Jonathan Walford. And he says this, I just find this really interesting. In 1954, bouffant ball gowns first appeared with intermission hemlines. This was a term coined by Paul Tregier to describe an above ankle length skirt in front, dipping to the ground at the back. We would call that a high-low, which, you know, for the purposes of being a maxi, you could start at the ankle in the front and go to the floor in the back if you wanted, and you'd kind of have the idea of a high-low hemline. Now, what he's talking about starts above the ankle, so that wouldn't be considered a maxi. I'm going to leave all these links to the places that I found the information in the description box. So make sure that you look down there and check out these links if you want to read more. Okay, for our purposes, the maxi that we are talking about is not sleepwear. Obviously, you know, a lot of sleepwear is a floor-length gown. So we're not talking about sleepwear. We're talking about loungewear, possibly. Which would be comfy clothes that you wear but you can be seen in public. Like if you're having company and you just want to wear something like that, or you have to run to the grocery or something, you can wear that. So for example, a caftan is an example of a maxi that is loungewear. Here's a definition that I found for caftan. This was really interesting because it is has been worn in a number of cultures throughout the world for thousands of years, and it is of Asiatic origin. So the styles, the uses, and the names vary from culture to culture, but it is worn as a lightweight, loose-fitting garment. And in some cultures, it is a symbol of royalty. So if you want to feel like a queen, wear a caftan around your house. Another form of loungewear would be a muumuu, which is a Hawaiian loose dress that hangs from the shoulder and is like a cross between a shirt and a robe. It's probably more accurate to say a Polynesian dress. Like the aloha shirt, muumuu exports are often brilliantly colored with floral patterns of generic Polynesian motifs. They do tend to be the preferred formal dress for weddings and festivals. So, you know, lots of ways to go with this whole maxi thing. You know, we basically said it is a hemline that starts at the ankle and goes to the floor, somewhere in between. Now, I have a lot of patterns in my stash that I have pulled as examples to show you. So I'm going to do that in another video that will follow this one. So that's it for now for me, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thank you.